let's get going. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sigita Cepaitiene, and I'm leading engineering group in Microsoft, who is building finance capabilities in Microsoft 365 Copilot. It is my pleasure today to kick off the session on reimagining finance with AI and agents. So let's get going. So let me start with an elephant in the room. AI adoption is really not an easy quest. We hear AI projects are failing. We hear they are getting stuck into the pilot phase for indefinite time. And when you think about adopting AI in finance, it is even more challenging because so many complex processes. The accuracy, auditability, security requirements are even higher than in the rest places of the business. So at the same time, the opportunity in finance, transforming business processes and getting really great results and return of investment is so high because finance is a launchpad of all the things in business. It can oversee all of the transactions, and really, if we do it right, we can get really good returns. And you probably, either you are a customer and talking to your CFO, or you are a partner and talking to your customers, and be in Microsoft as well, talking to every single CFO in the world. That's top of the mind. So how do I build the lasting transformation plan for my organization that would really bring me the returns and business outcomes that I'm looking for? So we are here to help you in the session. And if you are just starting this transformation journey, hopefully in the session you will hear quite a few good hints and ideas how for you to get started. So how does frontier firms, we talk about them a lot in this conference, the ones who put AI in front and center of the operations, approach this in finance? I will start just with a couple of thoughts that you will hear expanded in this session today. So first of all, think about the flow, complexity, and fit. So talking about the flow, the balance, those organizations, frontier organizations, they balance business needs with employee initiatives. And they are bringing in AI to the natural flow of work of people, trying to, and asking people or users do something that is really not natural for them. It can work, but it is way higher battle, and it does require a lot of change management. Secondly, they are smart about what they build versus what they buy, and they often use the spectrum of complexity. They start with the lower complexity projects and then move the scale up, building up that value that is bringing to the business. And the last but not the least, they are very thoughtful about what scenarios they pick to start with. What is the best potential for AI transformation with that security, auditability, and accuracy in mind? As in the saying, it is better to see once than to hear 10 times. I'm very excited that today in the session, in the second part, we will welcome one of our frontier customers, Holt, who will be sharing those experiences with you as well. But before we get there, just a couple more things. So what tools do we have in Microsoft Stack that can help you with that business transformation in finance? Good news, we have a full vertical stack that can cater to almost anything you can think of. You are looking into very complex, high customized, hyperscale scenarios. You can say hello to Azure AI Foundry and invest and build pretty complex agents out there. You are a maker or power user, and you are looking for template-based, low-code solutions that could help you to with AI scenarios. Look at our beloved Microsoft Copilot Studio. And we have a ton of capabilities out of the box, either in Copilot or first-party agents or Dynamics 365 that can really help you out to get going. So all of these are great, but as you are starting there, our cheat code is, think about it from this perspective. First of all, adopt, then adapt, and then build. Start with the ready-to-use Copilot and Dynamics 365 capabilities and first-party agents that are built for finance. Those are quick, low-cost, and low-effort scenarios that can help your team to start learning this journey and can bring some good, tangible, quick returns. Then explore what you can build with Copilot Studio, those easy-to-build custom agents. And from there, you can grow and expand and add more components to this journey and even more complex scenarios to your tech stack, also getting that exponential value. So today, we are going to make it very simple journey. We will start from that simple, out-of-the-box capabilities. We will start with Copilot. Then we'll walk you through Dynamics 365 Finance. And at the end of it, we will talk about Copilot Studio and our customer experiences. So let me start with Copilot. This is our flagship product. It's easy to start because a lot of you probably already have licenses and using it for one or another purpose in your daily work. Can Copilot help your team with finance-related tasks? Absolutely, it can. It can offer quite a bit. I won't be able to take you through all the possibilities and all the scenarios, but let me skim through it and show you a couple of favorites. So starting very simple, Copilot is obviously grounded in your enterprise data. It can work across your whole Microsoft graph, so it knows your emails, meetings, SharePoint folders, and it means that it can know and it can read your financial documents and the SharePoint sites, procedure documents. You can use it in the scenario such as answer a question about my expense policies. You can simply have your users ask Copilot and save time on it instead of going and bugging your beloved buddy in the finance team to get you the answer that you need. Let's get one step further and talk about notebooks. And I don't know, this is a hidden treasure of Copilot app. I don't know if you ever tried and used it. The way how it works, and you can find it in the rail of all the capabilities within Copilot app, you can reference multiple documents using the notebook. And then from there, you can start organizing that information. You can group things together. You can query. And all of that Copilot is going to do just based on the set of those reference documents together. So think about scenarios in finance where finance people need to analyze lengthy set of documents. For example, there is a contract and amendments. I need to do a compliance review. I need to analyze the revenue impact. You can totally create a notebook for that and get a quick help to get going. And last but not the least, from M365 Copilot scenarios, think about analyst agent. So often it's pretty frequent situation, you get a dump file of the data, a lot of data that you need to start working, analyzing, building the visuals, building the reports, building financial commentary. Analyst can be a great way to boost your productivity, where you can simply load the file, ask the questions, and get the things going that afterwards you can expand, verify, and build it into your financial reporting. So that's Copilot app, but obviously things even get more powerful if you bring those AI capabilities from Copilot app to all the canvases where people are working every day. Our beloved tool in finance, Microsoft Excel, Outlook for communication with your customers and vendors. Again, these tools already have what you need, but you might not know that we also have capabilities that are built specifically for finance professionals within Copilot. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about what it can do for you. So we developed the finance solution in Microsoft 365 Copilot to address some of those key needs that we see finance professionals have when it comes to AI. We need to balance the creativity and scalability of Gen AI with accuracy and predictability finance teams need to be able to operate in business and pass audits. Not only that, but we also need to get one step further than prompting every time you need something. We know that many finance tasks are routine, and there are many opportunities to fully automate those processes with AI actions and our tools. So think about accuracy as an example, right? You really need to be able to balance the AI creativity with really the need of very accurate and calculations using standard business logic to ensure that what you are building in your reports is rock solid and you are not getting into any troubles with the audit. So a couple of things that finance solution in Microsoft 365 Copilot can do to you. So first of all, in Outlook, we have made it easy to handle customer inquiries on invoices and collections by providing you access to ERP data. So if you didn't know, you really can, as you are looking through your accounts receivable inbox, you can, using natural language summary, get the insight that are complemented right with your accounts receivable data either in your Dynamics 365 Finance, Business Central, even SAP, or a custom system that you might be connecting using custom connectors. So you can pull that information from ERP that gets directly correlated to the conversation that you have, and you can answer those customer requests more easily without the need to go back to ERP system, look up those invoice documents up, or get the information about payments. In Excel, I don't think there is no surprise. This is one of the most beloved tools that any finance professional love and use on the daily basis. So we have built out a couple of capabilities. So starting with data transformation and reconciliation. If you have two financial data sources that you need to compare, and this is a very typical thing that is applicable across different value chains in finance, you can teach Copilot to do that task for you. You can pull the information from the systems where that information, where the data resides. You can use Copilot and natural language to cleanse and prepare the data just with the simple prompts. You can afterwards reconcile and get auditable report of the financial reconciliations. Copilot can even help you to troubleshoot transactions that are mismatching and explain what is the difference between one data set and another data set and help to close those gaps faster. And the best part is that you can, once you show this to Copilot once, you can save it as a template, and using AI actions, Copilot can execute this process for you on a continuous basis and just report your results back over email. So if you are interested more about, to see more about this capability, meet us at the theater session this afternoon at 4 p.m. We will be demoing that in a little bit more depth. And the last but not the least, variance analysis. So variance analysis allows you to take big data sets of data, and Copilot can help you to understand what are the key drivers between the results. Either it is budget versus actuals, or your this period versus previous period. It can really go deep into that data behind the scenes, create you financial commentary, and again, it can package all of that into executive report and send it back to you over the email. So with that, I would like to welcome A.J. Springer on the stage, and she is going to show us variance analysis in a little bit more detail.
Thank you, Sigita. Hi, everybody. Today, I'm going to be an FP&A financial professional. And it's month end, so it's time for me to do my variance and close, which traditionally has been a very tedious, time-consuming process that requires me to comb through hundreds of rows, do a lot of manual steps, create custom reports, and pivot tables to get the outputs I need to share with my stakeholders. So today, I'm going to show you how we can speed this up using Finance Copilots in Excel. So we're going to start off here in Excel, and I brought in hundreds of rows of data from our Dynamics 365 system of record here. And this includes multiple dimensions, including sensor type, solution area, and market. Oops. OK, can you see it now? Oh, thank you. OK, so now you can see that we have multiple dimensions, including sensor type, solution area, and market. And I pulled this all together in a quick pivot table, which now I can use our Finance Copilot capabilities to help me analyze this. So I'm going to click on Variance Analysis, where it's going to ask me which worksheets and pivot table that I wanted to analyze. And now I can select some criteria that I want to use. So I'm going to use one of our out-of-the-box prompts here, and I'm going to use this one where I want to see all variances exceeding 27%. And I'm going to run this, and now Copilot will identify where those are in my report. I'm going to add in one more criteria here, and this time I wanted to analyze all of our negative variances. So I'm just going to type in negative variance. And it will recognize that for me here in the report. So I can see specifically our negative variance is in Missouri for May. And now again, I'm going to use Copilot to help me do that analysis instead of me having to do this all manually, a very tedious process. So something that potentially could have taken me hours to do this report, I can see in a matter of seconds that this particular variance is due to the key contributors are within the US central market for Zara Core Field Elite product within our growth market. So this is some great information that I can use to include in our variance report. So now I'm going to start building out that report here. Now let's build this one in as well. And now I have a report that's shareable with my internal stakeholders, which is going to give me the detailed analysis as well as all of the dimensions that are available in that particular report. So this has already sped up my month-end close, my period close, and now I want to take it to the next level. So now that I've started this process, I can actually save it as a template. You can see here, which will even speed this process up more in the future. And then I can take it even to the next level, where I can set this up to run autonomously in the background, where I don't even need to come into Excel. So now I can do that through our AI actions. Let's exit out of here. And now I can pull this data in directly from my source data. I can run it through the template that we just created, and I can share that output to my email address. So I'm going to go back here to my email address, to my email. And now I can see that complete variance report with the overview, the key findings with all of those details right in my email, speeding up my period end process. So with that, now we can spend our time, instead of doing all of those manual processes, we can spend our time on higher value impacts for our business, which will increase our ROI for our AI investments. So with that, I'd like to welcome April to the stand.
All right. Working this time? All right, great. All right, that was a great demo. And several great examples of how finance teams can use Copilot inside of productivity apps like Excel and Outlook to really help speed up or even automate day-to-day processes. But at Microsoft, we span both productivity and business applications. And we don't mind acknowledging that for finance teams to move forward, some of the future work, even in a frontier finance team, still could happen in areas like Excel, because we all know it's everybody's favorite tool. But at times, Excel can be a Band-Aid for siloed or out-of-date system data. And to truly maximize the impact that AI can have in your organization, you need to be thinking about ERP as a key component. Now, if you're in the market for an ERP, you should consider Dynamics 365. We're actually in the best position to truly execute on the vision of moving AI and becoming a frontier firm because of our embedded agents and Copilot experiences. So let's just look at a couple of quick examples. Some of the things that AI does wonderful is across all of that rich data that you have in your system. And if you think about putting yourself in the seat of a collections coordinator, They're looking at a lot of different data. They have a lot of customers to manage. They're going ahead and they're trying to figure out what's outstanding balances, what invoices are outstanding, what's the last time they paid, are they usually on time? There's all of this rich data across the system. Plus we need to know in CRM, are they almost up for renewal? Is there anything I should be aware of? And then there's of course lots of actions they have to take, like sending collection reminder emails. AI is phenomenal at this. It's summarizing the information across that rich data so that person can make a more educated decision much faster so that they can move on and create their actions. And then we move on to something like agents. So we have an account reconciliation agent that helps with reconciling your systems between ledger, subledger, ledger to subledger, thinking about during that month-end, quarter-end process, when there are exceptions and people are spending a lot of time digging into what caused them. Not only what caused them, how do I fix them? And so thinking about bringing an agent into the mix to help users across the subledger and ledger to do that work helps you get to closing the books faster. But the agent takes it even further. Not only do we help you identify the causes, how do we go about fixing them? If you think about there, sometimes we just need to do manual journal entries. Sometimes we need to go ahead and reverse a transaction and fix it. Sometimes we just want to get to the root cause of that situation so that next time that month end rolls around, you don't even have to react to it. The agent is automatically picking all of that up. So if you've already got Dynamics, you've won. You can actually go ahead and try these out-of-the-box agents right now. But nothing beats seeing it in real time live. So with that, I'm going to invite Anne to the stage, and she's actually going to go through a live ERP demo on the finance account reconciliation agent. Anne.
Thanks, April. So April just did a great job teeing up the demo we're about to see. This agent, the account reconciliation agent, is an embedded agent inside of Dynamics 365 Finance. And what it does is helps me speed up the general ledger to subledger reconciliation process, which for those finance folks in the crowd, you know, can take quite a while. Plus, you've got all of those people waiting to find out how did we do. So the sooner you can get to accurate results, the better. I'm inside D365 Finance in my home page, and I can jump right into the account reconciliation workspace, which walks me through the process of period close and how we're doing so far. I can see the transactions that have been reconciled automatically, and I can see the open exceptions that I need to take a look through and manage. So let's jump right in. For every exception, the agent provides me a natural language summary of exactly what was the cause of the exception, and as April said, it recommends what I should do about it. And it's learning this from how I've handled previous transaction mitigations. And in this case, we see the root cause of the voucher amount mismatch is that the amounts are a 23-cent difference, which is within our environment limit. So in this case, it's really simple. The agent recommends we accept this mismatch without change. Sounds good to me. I can just say approved. And what we're watching in real time is the audit trail being created. So when it comes time to explain how we got to our financial results, we have that full visibility, and we have the human in the loop element that's so critical when you're working with AI, especially in finance. We're not, I don't think, at a point where we can just say, hey, the agent did the math and that's okay, right? We need that balance of I, the human, looked at it, reviewed it, and approved it. On this next one, we've got a similar voucher amount mismatch, but in this case, the amount is outside our finance policy for a 25-cent tolerance. And so in this case, again, learning from my previous mitigation experience, the agent recommends that I create a journal entry. And instead of having to navigate through a dozen different forms and then manually create a journal, manually add the lines, add all the data, the agent is actually going to create the journal entry for me. Looks like it might need a cup of coffee this morning, like I did. But the point is that in the past, this process would have taken me, there we go, so much longer even than just waiting for the agent to wake up a little bit. And all to just mitigate a discrepancy of 42 cents, right? Which feels like small potatoes, but when you add it all up, it becomes a big number. All I have to do is add the journal name, put the offset account in, and then the journal goes through, this is really important, our standard posting process. We're not just inserting data records, we're following all of that core embedded business logic that creates the approvals and the audit trail that we need when it comes to report our results. And there we go. Okay, let's move on to another example. And this just goes to show all the different types of exceptions or the flexibility that the agent provides, the ability that it has to learn. In this case, we have a transaction that is in the subledger, but not in the ledger, except it looks like the agent has found 2 transactions that are in the ledger, but not the subledger. So it's sort of a fuzzy match situation. So before, I would have had to manually go through all the open exceptions on each side, but this time, the agent has actually done that work for me and suggested this match. And it's not just taking the agent's word for it. I can actually review all of the open exceptions. Looks like we're having, there we go. All of the open exceptions that match that date, main account, and amount criteria, and actually look at different options. But the situation, the option given to me by the agent looks like the best one, so I can mark those as matched. And again, log it, put it in the audit trail. Looks like we're gonna have to move on from that one though. Okay, and then finally, in the case where we have a transaction where it doesn't look like there's a pair and it doesn't look like there's this sort of multi-match pair in the ledger but not in the subledger, the agent recommends that we reverse the transaction, so we repost through the subledger so it's in both places. Again, I can do that right from the same place. No more dozen of clicks and different posts to get this moving forward. So you kind of get the idea of how the agent has this understanding of all the different types of exceptions, and everything I do to address the exceptions, I'm in control, I'm in the loop, and this audit trail is created. We can see all of the different exceptions that I've mitigated, what action was taken, and even the reversals and journal postings are logged and connected to that specific work. So I think this agent is a great example of how we are building for finance specifically, understanding that AI has great potential, but also that finance has very strict requirements on auditability, traceability, and control. With that, I'd like to pass it back to April to talk a little bit more about ERP.
All right. Thanks, Anne. Another great demo scene, first-party embedded agent within ERP. Now, we know you're not going to commit to a full ERP transformation just from the agent demo that you just saw. I mean, I would, but I'm biased. So we get it, though. But let's kind of break down what's happening behind the curtain in ERP to help you become a frontier finance firm. For a finance organization, ERP is the load-bearing system for agent transformation. And if you think about that rich data estate, it's not just about recording financial transactions. There's policy and configuration data that is used to drive business processes. And when we think about an agentic ERP and a system that can do this transformation with you, we start moving from financial transactions that are outdated to real-time. We move from policies and configuration that are static into more dynamic. And this is where we can really help you transform that recording process into real-time outcomes and business decisions will help you continually optimize and move faster, which is a phenomenal competitive advantage for all of you. So everything starts with the data. An ERP system that is agent forward gets you ahead of the curve in transforming your system in this world because of that rich data estate. So something that you really want to prioritize is having that ERP so your business can constantly adapt to change. So let's recap. To become a frontier finance firm, you want an ERP that is going to be future forward, records data in real-time transactions, no more painful month-end, quarter, year-end closes. You want to make sure you have agents that can view that financial data and drive business outcomes for you. Now, let's be real. It's going to be one of the hardest, most challenging transformations an organization will go through. But the beauty of it is there's plenty of stops along the way for you to get real-time value out of AI. Now, I told a little white lie earlier before I left the stage. I said, there's nothing better than seeing live ERP demos. We're going to one-up it. We're going to invite customer to the stage, Matt Jutila, with the Holt Group, and he's going to walk through the Holt Group's digital transformation. So give it up for Matt for being on stage and sharing with you his journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, April. So my name is Matt Jutila. I'm a Microsoft end user. I currently lead development teams in D365, F&O, SharePoint, and Power Platform for Holt Group down in San Antonio, Texas. Prior to my current role, I worked implementing D365 F&O. And before that, I spent 9 years as a corporate accountant. And I say all that because accounting and financial processes are near and dear to my heart. I love finance. I love accounting. At Holt, we use a number of tools in the Microsoft tech stack for internal processing, and we note them here in the slide, but we use Power BI and Fabric for reporting purposes, D365 for operations, budgeting, consolidation. We have a combination of Teams, Excel, Copilot Studio, Copilot for various financial processes throughout the month, right? And what's not noted here is all the other financial tools that we utilize to ensure our financial process and reporting runs smooth month in and month out. And as this slide notes, if you don't help your people solve their business problems, they'll do it themselves. And this one's kind of personal for me. Particularly in the finance and accounting space, this poses a ton of challenges. You may find that business users build something that misses proper segregation of duties. And there might be a risk of sensitive data exposure or weak security hygiene. And these tools don't always show up in IT budgets. And we end up double paying for licenses or getting redundant capabilities out of different systems, right? With data living outside sanctioned systems, we lose lineage and audit trails. That means unreliable and slower reporting. And response times can be longer because we don't see what we don't manage. When the business signs up to build their own applications, they inevitably sign themselves or unknowingly sign themselves up to support that application for the lifetime. This is how, and don't get me wrong, business users find solutions so that they can solve their problems quickly, right? Necessity is the mother of innovation. And to be honest, the Microsoft tech stack enables this type of build, this type of citizen development. And this is how tools in the Microsoft tech stack are set up. It's important as business end users and IT professionals to note that this journey should be done collaboratively. Business users working with IT professionals to develop applications that work for the business, applications and AI agents. So Copilot Studio, this is my section, and this one's fun for me. So if you're in this room and you're interested in utilizing Copilot to help improve your accounting and financial processes, you gotta ask yourself, where am I now? You've got specific problems that can't be solved with native tool sets, M365 or D365, and you have third-party financial systems that you're not really ready to replace completely yet. Then you need to ask yourself, where can I start? And this is something that we have gone through pretty recently, right? So Copilot Studio offers that natural language agent development platform, which means you can build context-specific agents for your biggest financial pain points without waiting for a first-party solution. If you have M365 and D365, the value is exponential. Again, I spent time as implementing D365, I spent time as an accountant. You can surface those custom agents in Copilot Chat with MCP for ERP. You can also set up agents to do anything in the system a user can do. And you can use those agents to deepen the connection between M365 and ERP, reducing the time you spend in back office systems. For us at Holt, the majority of our agentic AI journey has been in this Copilot Studio, utilizing chat functionality with natural language to build and interact with agents in that kind of question and answer type of scenario. For those agents, even wave one of just a RAG, it has been hugely impactful. Think of a scenario where you have a leader in your organization that asks a finance question. And it takes another human being, typically an accountant or an analyst, to answer said question. If you can reduce the number of people involved in that interaction from 2 to 1, that's a 50% reduction. It's better use of time for those involved in the processes. At Holtz, our value is really in client interaction, making sure that the equipment that is working for our customers, or getting out there selling our equipment, not really in back office systems. So I have a number of developers on my engineering teams that utilize Copilot Studio and that simplifies agent generation process. And with that, you don't need new coding languages or understanding of different syntax to be able to deliver an agent that provides immediate business value. It's something just about anyone can do. So I want to give you an example, and I do want to talk about this because from my experience, we are building in Copilot Studio, but I do have a fun example. So earlier this year, I had one of my developers stand up an agent. And utilizing Copilot Studio, and as an internal team, we're getting familiar with this agent. We're playing around with it. We're asking it fun questions. We're training this large language model. And then we get in touch with our Microsoft team to say, hey, how do you help? How can we make this more robust? How can we stop getting these mirage type answers? And working with Microsoft and kind of exploring Copilot Studio, we realized an agent template was available for us to leverage. We found ourselves legitimately in a place where we had already bought the solution we were building, right? And to be honest, we generally prefer to buy and not build. We like the strategy of allowing Microsoft to build the application and the agent, and my development team can focus on building stuff unique to our business. The speed and pace that AI technology is hitting the market from Microsoft is truly amazing, and it's something we should all be leveraging. I won't spoil my next slide because I do have some good, fun examples of when you build an agent, so I'm not going to spoil that, but I will note that if your organization has a business process that is unique and it gives you a competitive advantage in your market, and it's something that you want to keep internal, you don't want to share it, go ahead and build it, right? If you're talking about an agent that works across different systems, across multi-system, multi-functioning orchestration, D365, F&O, Power Apps, Power Platform, Power Automate, Teams, Outlook, it makes sense to build something like that. On the flip side of the coin, when you start talking about buying solutions for your organization, if the solution involves business critical processes or regulatory exposure, buying reduces that risk with proven vendors. Commercial solutions come with SLAs, updates, support, stuff that's critical for uptime and compliance. Buying ensures scalability and tested reliability. And that's something that if you don't have an internal team that can build some of this stuff, you have to kind of choose to buy it. So, as promised, I do want to talk a little bit about our roadmap. And these are 3 custom agent scenarios that we decided to build. Again, thinking back to why build something. It's low stakes, high business value, unique to your business, multi-function, multi-form. So the first one is the self-help chat. This one's pretty common across the industry. So we have multiple of these, but I'll give you one great example. We have a SharePoint and Power Platform agent that'll reference functional and technical design documents that we house in a SharePoint site. And when we get a situation where we get an incident ticket for an app we built for our finance team, we can then utilize this agent to say, hey, what is happening functionally for this particular app? How did we technically build this, right? Without needing to go and talk to the developer who built that solution or the analyst who worked with the business to design it. We build it because it's low stakes and it's high value. It's a quick win for us to reference that detail and eliminate those touch points where we can speed up our processes. The next one is a Copilot agent for approval routing. And we have a diverse business, and getting invoices approved is a multi-step process. where team members utilize Outlook, they'll use Teams, various ERPs, they'll go talk to each other to track and approve invoices for payment. Our strategy is utilizing that Copilot agent to interface with Team in Outlook, where we get that invoice copy in through the email, and Power Automate workflow to help route that approval process to the right folks. And this will help reduce that complexity around approving invoices across our business, because sometimes it takes a long time to get our vendors paid. We want to make sure we reduce that. And how you do that? You reduce touch points. And we built this because it's a unique process to our business. We know we're unique in this sense. The last one, this one is one I'm super fond of, is the rapid customer onboarding. And this particular agent and the use case for this is really for a salesman or saleswoman on the front lines who meets a potential customer. And those potential customers express some interest to the salesman or saleswoman and say, hey, I want to buy some equipment from you. And for us, it takes a while to get them in our sales pipeline, right? We got to get them set up in our ERP as a customer or in our CRM to get them squared away, right? So this agent will be aimed at, hey, having that interaction with an agent, we have this new customer, scan in a business card or provide some context information, utilize the Power Automate workflow to get that information into a customer record in our CRM or our ERP, trigger another workflow to get our AR team started on, hey, what should the customer's credit limit be? What should, what is the address of this customer? Who are the key contacts? Who do we talk to when we give it them? So that way, when that salesman follows back up, it's not a conversation about, well, hey, we just met last week and we got to figure out with our AR team, what's your credit limit? It's focus on the sale. Get out there and go try to get that new customer moved through our sales pipeline. The other thing we'll add to this is an integration or a connection to Outlook. So that way we can set up reminders for sales folks. Take some of that admin work out of the hey, we got a customer, I got to follow up in 3 weeks, or they're out of office for the next month, I got to follow up next month. Like, make it simple for them. Keep them in a place where they're focused on making the sales. So these were the ones I wanted to talk to you about. Hopefully this spurs a lot of ideas of what you can do with Copilot Studio, what you can do internally for your organization. And really, it's a lot of those small wins. It's a lot of those things that you can do quick that provide a ton of value that truly help your organization move forward. So thank you so much, and I'll bring April back on stage.
All right. Thank you, Matt. I have to personally say my favorite thing was if you don't help your users or help yourself. As a product leader throughout my time in the product lifestyle, we've seen that happen quite a few times, and it usually works, but at times can be very painful. So what you've learned and seen all week, and from all the different sessions, is how we have the most powerful end-to-end stack for AI business solutions. And today we focus mostly on the financial components that you see here, and how you can really come together based on where you are at in your digital transformation and go through this journey just like Matt and the whole group did. Excuse me. So with that, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking that step in the direction to make your business a frontier firm. And we hope you all go execute on it and that one of you are on stage with us next year. Thank you very much.